Alright, so today we were using factoring in order to solve polynomials and find their zeros. So this is going to be problem 10 from your homework assignment, 12.3. And for this one, so the first thing we always have to do is make sure that it's equal to 0. So in this case, that's done for us. And then also what we have to do is see if we have a GCF to take out. But in this one, we do not. So this is as simple as this one gets. So now we're ready to start factoring. So this one, since it has two terms, we can either use difference of squares, difference of cubes, or sum of cubes. And since this one is a sum, the only one we can use is sum of cubes. So we have to write this as something cubed plus something else cubed. So x cubed is just going to be x cubed. And then 64 is actually 4 cubed. So 4 times 4 times 4. Alright, so now what we have to do is using the sum of cubes formula, we have x plus 4. So we just take whatever's inside each one. And then we have x squared, so we have the first thing squared, minus these two multiplied by each other, so 4x. And then plus the last term squared, so 16. So now we have two factors. We have this one, and then we have this quadratic. So for the quadratic, we can attempt to factor it. So since the leading coefficient is 1, we can just take 16 and see if we can find anything that multiplies to get 16 and adds to get negative 4. So we have 1 and 16, 2 and 8, 4 and 4, but none of these are really working, and even if I made both of them negative, it's not working either, because we'd have, negative 8 and negative 10 and negative 17, which are not anywhere near negative 4. And that's all the factors we have for 16 as well. So that tells us that this one is not going to factor, but that's when we haul out the quadratic formula. So for the quadratic formula, we have a is 1 since we have 1x squared, b is negative 4 since we have negative 4x, and c is 16 since that's our last term. Alright, so negative b, so negative 4 gives us positive 4, plus or minus the square root of b squared, so negative 4 squared, minus 4 times a times c, so times 1 times 16, all divided by 2 times a, so 2 times 1. So simplifying what we have up here, we get 4 plus or minus the square root of negative 48, all over 2. And square root of negative 48 simplifies further, so we have 4 plus or minus 4i root 3 all over 2. And that's since, so if we wanted to break this down, 48 is 4 times 16, or sorry, 3 times 16. And 16 is a perfect square, it's 4 times 4. So those pair of 4s can come out, and since it's negative, we got to make an I outside. And then the 3 is left on the inside because it doesn't have a partner to come out. So there we go. That simplifies to 4 plus or minus 4i root 3 all over 2, which can simplify one step further. All three of these are divisible by 2. So we can make this into 2 plus or minus 2i root 3. So there's two of our zeros. We have 2 plus 2i root 3. And 2 minus 2i root 3. But we can't forget about this term back here. We still have to set him equal to 0. So we have x plus 4 equals 0. And subtracting 4 on each side, we get that x is negative 4. So these are the components of our answer. We have x is negative 4. And we also have x is 2 plus or minus 2i root 3.